Look, man, it's not my fault for being late. I was on the way, and then there was a fucking accident, probably a woman, and they had two female cops there trying to do traffic control. That fucked everything up. You had two of them who neither one was doing direction, and so there was this big fat one that came around the intersection. She stood out there in the middle of the intersection, did absolutely nothing. There's another one who was just standing fucking off, I don't know, trying to get a phone number for a date later. And so the light turns green. I start going through the intersection, and then the cop starts waving me off. And neither
The fat
one
female
of them,
cop?
well, no, the fat female cop was just standing there. The other one started waving me off when I was halfway through the intersection. I'm like, what the fuck am I supposed to do, man? So who knows? Maybe the female cops were there trying to do traffic control, and they caused the accident. And now they're fucking walking around just like they drive.
All right. You done?
Yes. Why?
Okay, we're ready to record. I was actually recording for quite
God
some
damn
time
it,
already.
Dave.
Anyways, let's start this off. We are the Valley Boys. This is episode number Who Gives a Shit? We like to start this off by thanking our sponsors this week. People who went to buymeacoffee.com/Valley Boys Podcast and dropped $5. We got Chris. We got Shitty Bill. He did it, 5 times, and then 5 times again, and then 3 times this week. What a drunk idiot. Mario from Albuquerque. Always good hearing from you. He bought us 4 beers. We also got Jesus, Spencer, Shitty Adam, Shitty JP, Shitty Leslie, and Shitty Kevin. Thanks a lot, you guys. We got this rolling. So, we got a guest today. It's the return of Brandon Blackburn. He is a former CIA officer, former Live PD producer because they got #canceled, and he's currently my stand-up agent. What a decline in your life. Brandon Blackburn, thanks a lot for joining us.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys. The hardest job in show business is trying to book Dave Weasel.
Shut up! How you doing, Brandon?
I'm good, my friend. How you doing? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Do Canadians say that?
We do. Do people in
celebrate New
Florida
Year?
say that,
Okay.
or does time just sort of stand still and get shittier and shittier?
It just gets hotter and hotter in the swampland.
Whereabouts in Florida are you?
I am not far from Mickey Land and all that fun stuff.
Oh, gross.
You know, that place that you're legally not allowed to come within 500 feet of anymore.
Oh, that was a one-time thing, you know, but I'm also not allowed to wear trench coats anymore because of that incident. Wearing nothing but a Nixon mask and a trench coat. I don't know. It was a dark time in my life. Anyways.
It was a not so very Merry Christmas for Mickey that year.
Maybe if I did it at night, I would have gotten away with it.
All right.
Next time.
All right, and jumping right into things this week, we're going to do something we haven't done for a while and jump into our mailbag. We got a couple questions from people this week. The first one actually is from a Brandon from Florida. What a coincidence, right? Brandon
Gross.
from
Is
Florida.
it like a Florida
Or
version
is
of
it?
you?
Or is it?
Well, I don't
Imagine
know, man.
Florida Brandon. That guy would just never put a shirt on, you know?
Now I'm starting to question here.
Oh, wait,
But,
we got to differentiate the two different Brandons here. So just to be clear, Brandon Blackburn, we'll just call you Shitty Brandon. And regular Brandon, you'll be, just regular Bradolph.
That sounds equitable.
What you get for voting for Trump this first time.
You bastard. I should have voted for him the second time, you dirty Canadian piece of shit. All right, so Brandon from Florida wants to know, Dave, when are you going to finally get back up on stage and do some stand-up again?
Oh, Christ. We were just talking about this a second ago. Well, it's really up to the virus. It's up to the audiences when they pressure the clubs. If you're out there, email, call, whatever, your local club owner and tell them to book Shitty Dave Weasel. Or just Dave Weasel. They'll know who that is. And
The shitty is redundant.
yeah, it's one and the same.
Guy,
But yeah, I'm trying to get back out there. There's a few things going on here in LA that I just haven't jumped on. Like, I refuse to do the Zoom stand-up thing. I just can't bring myself to do that. I did the roast battle I did a Zoom roast battle, but I was banned from it. Apparently, I was too mean. And then that's it. I haven't been on stage since March.
Well, I'm sure you could probably go to Florida and do it. COVID doesn't exist in Florida.
The heat and humidity kills it. Didn't you see? I think Fauci said that.
Yeah. God Emperor Trump, I believe. Once
It's
it hit,
science.
Yeah, once the heat hits, it's dead. So.
Shine a UV light into it, right?
Yeah, exactly. Just right up its
Just
ass.
like herpes.
Yeah. Which, wait a minute. It's a little weird because we have another question also from a Brandon in Florida. Has Brandon's herpes cleared up yet? No, wait a minute. No, I know what you two are doing. No, there's finally collusion, and I found it. It wasn't between Trump and Russia. It was between shitty Canadian Dave and the CIA in order to shit all over Brandon, trying to smear my good name. This is horse shit.
That's awesome. Shitty Brandon submitted some questions.
STD diplomacy.
Look, I'm fully aware. If I have an STD, I'm pretty sure I'm going to be aware of it.
I don't know, man. Not that, what's that one? HPV? If you're a man, that shit lives in you and just stays in there and you have no idea. I don't have it because I got the full swabby test. Not fun. You'd probably like it because you're a sick fuck.
Oh,
but
yeah, that's what me and Michael Douglas have in common, man. We like fucking eating kitty. What? That's how he got throat cancer, remember? He was going down on Catherine Zeta-Jones too much. I mean,
And
I can't
you
blame
literally
him.
were eating kitty.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
disgusting.
Oh, Dave.
All right. Are there any real questions? I don't care. No. I don't want to answer any more questions.
All right, well, fair enough. Then we'll move on. And this is quite a treat because we're about to play America's favorite game show. Is it Florida, California, or Canada, man? And considering we have a Florida man here, fully expect Mr. Blackburn to get all these correct. All right. So for those listening for the first time, we got 3 of these. Each one is brand new. So if the first one was Florida, the second one could be Florida. They could all be Canada, whatever. All right. So the first one is, man sets himself on fire while trying to ignite his own home. Did that happen in Florida? Dave, put your goddamn phone down. Did that happen in Florida, California, or Canada?
While he was trying to ignite his own home?
Yes.
That seems like a Florida move to me.
All right, we got one Florida. Dave, what do you say? Dave, put your fucking laptop away, you son of a bitch. I'm going to cut your hands off.
I'm just trying to find the answers so I can win.
Perfectly reasonable explanation. All right, so what do you have on this? Blackburn says Florida.
I gotta go with Blackburn on this. Also Florida. Well, although that's kind of an insurance money thing. What happened again? What's the headline?
Okay, so man sets himself on fire while trying to ignite his own home. The gist of the story is man tried throwing a bucket of accelerant through a broken window, caught himself on fire, fled the scene to a hospital where he was later arrested.
Oh, definitely Florida.
All right, yeah,
Can
you're
a
both
man
right.
just light himself on fire in peace these days without the police getting involved?
Yeah, it's his own home. It's not like he's trying to set his neighbor's shit on fire, for fuck's sake, man. The goddamn government.
This is what they say when the government's just slowly stripping away our rights. You can't even light yourself on fire anymore.
Absolutely, man. This isn't the America I want to live in. Okay, moving on. Second story. Suspect arrested after swastikas painted on synagogue. Did that happen in Florida, California, or Canada? Mr. Blackburn, you're a guest. You go first.
Oh, that's a tough one given the Jewish population in both California and Florida.
A ton of Jews, yeah.
I'm going to go California on that one.
All right. Blackburn says California. What say you, Dave?
Well, far be it from me to ever miss a chance to shit all over Quebec and Canada, but that sounds like something people in shitty Quebec would do. So I'm going to go with Canada.
Are there a lot of Jews in Quebec?
There's enough to commit hate crimes.
Enough for hate crime. Oh God, that's wonderful. Yeah, it's hilarious. This actually was in Montreal.
I fucking knew it. I didn't even cheat, Brandon. Shitty Brandon.
No, yeah, I can vouch for this. He actually did not cheat.
Ironically, Bradoff, you can see that I'm not cheating. Exactly. Fucking Quebec. Every time some Nazi shit goes down, it's there.
Well, and it's exactly the type of thing you'd expect out of Canada, too, you know?
No. Just French Canada.
Well, no one likes the French either, so, yeah. You know the thing that was fucked up, I was staring at the photos, and he painted this, like, 4 swastikas, but they were all different sizes. It was just not aesthetically pleasing.
Well,
it's like a
the
locker
Russian
room.
dolls.
Yeah, like, if you're going to commit a hate crime, at least, like, make it look, I don't know, professional. Like you've done this before.
Time is of the essence, though, man. You know, how fast can you draw a swastika, Brandon? Like when you're doing that?
I mean, awake or in my sleep. I mean,
you just got to get them done and leave. Maybe he had to do some small ones because, you know, they were onto him.
Okay, it's confirmed. Dave has been to Montreal multiple times. And in the spirit of a theme going on here, he was also found with a gas can, too. But nothing was set on fire, thankfully.
He's probably huffing that shit. That's a Canadian tradition.
Yeah, I can believe that.
Blackburn, you ever huff some gas?
You mean like from the gas station or from the tank? How's that work?
I don't know. You're the CIA officer. Like when they test you for drugs, and they're testing for gas huffing. Don't they tell you like it's from the gas can? They pour it on a rag, and then they stick the rag in their mouth.
Well, enough about your dating life. Let's move on.
Which is exactly why Dave can't go near Disney World.
Jesus, what the hell is up with that? I'm not the pervert in the room. It's 100% Brandon Collins.
Yeah, Dave's just the anti-Semite.
I did get kicked off OnlyFans this week, pretending to be a woman selling pictures of her feet.
Yeah, fair enough.
I think the hair and the corns gave it away.
Oh, God. All right, and moving to our final story of the evening. Forgotten password stands between man and $240 million in Bitcoin fortune. Does this individual live in Florida, California, or Canada?
Well, first off, this is why it's not such a dumb idea to make your password 12345 because that never fails.
I've got the same password on my luggage.
You heard it from a former CIA officer.
So he had stock in Bitcoin, but he can't access it?
Yeah, so he had a digital wallet with just a little over 7,000 Bitcoin, which by today's value is right around $240 million. He said he lost a paper with a password written on it a few years ago. This digital wallet only allows you 10 password attempts before it just like permanently locks you out. And he's used 8 of the 10, so he's only got 2 left to figure out what the fuck it was.
So if it's digital, Florida, we're still analog, so I'm gonna eliminate Florida.
Yeah, you have to like voice a password, like entering one of them swingers parties, you know?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go Canada on that one again.
All right, we got a Canada. Dave, what say you?
I feel like it would be worth a lot more if it was in Canada, given the exchange rate. So that sounds more like a California thing, like a Beverly Hills, like where the shit shack was. I bet you that's where someone would forget their password for Bitcoin. So I'm going with California.
All right, well, yes, it absolutely was California. San Francisco, man.
3 for 3, bitch.
You know, I was gonna go, but then again, they're so tech savvy in San Francisco, so I would think they would know how to access all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, you'd think so. He just kind of outfoxed himself. But here's another crazy tidbit from the story. It's estimated about 20% of existing Bitcoin, around $140 billion worth, is either stranded or just otherwise lost altogether because of stuff like this.
It's hilarious.
How do you lose something that never existed in the first place?
Well, no, he owns it. He just can't get to it. It's not like buying a lottery ticket and like, oh, fuck, I didn't win. No, this guy has this. He just can't fucking get to it.
No, he's saying that, like, Bitcoin is bullshit. It's just a thing that people say exists, and then it exists all of a sudden.
Well, it's a digital version of the American dollar, really.
Right. It's not backed by anything.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't you wish you could do that with a woman, Collins? Just think it exists and all of a sudden it appears?
God, that's going to be my next great invention.
Brandon, when's the last time you had sex without paying for it?
You just had to throw in that last part, didn't you? What year is this?
2021, dude. We're in the future now, man.
Oh, God, yeah, we should probably just move on. We'll be sitting here all night for trying to figure that out.
It's funny because it's true.
Oh, cool, man.
So we were talking about the shit shack. Speaking of people forgetting their password to Bitcoin and whatever. So when the Valley Boys first started, we got 2 episodes in, and then Blackburn brought us into High Studios. It was a podcast network backed by a Chinese company that threw a lot of money into it. If you guys listen to the earlier episodes, we talked about recording at the quote-unquote shit shack. It's a rented Beverly Hills mansion that is no longer operating as a podcast studio. But we were there fucking shit up, drinking all their booze, calling them suits when they were all just wearing skinny jeans and Nikes. And Blackburn at one point was, as a little side thing, a suit there. You remember those days, Brandon? Blackburn?
I do. Yeah, I was reminiscing in my diary recently and came across that page, that entry.
Now, the one thing I noticed among all of them was it seemed like unenthusiastic hand job face was the default facial expression for everybody there. Didn't matter if they were in a good mood, bad mood. Like, you didn't know what they were feeling that day because, like, that was their expression at all times. Like, they're just walking around just shaking dick and feeling empty about doing it. Was that your experience when talking to them as well?
Yeah, I think, the term High Studios was appropriate.
That's true. Brandon Collins and Jimmy Dore were doing drugs in the studio. I left for 1 second and I came back and they were smoking it up.
Yeah, dude, like that's why I moved out to LA to do shit like that. Like, that's a great fucking story you can tell people. I got to fucking sit there and do drugs with Jimmy Dore.
At the shit shack.
At the shit shack. Yeah, in Beverly Hills, dude. A Beverly Hills mansion. That's a fucking life right there. But unfortunately, it got all fucked up because the people they hired, I don't know what the fuck they were doing. Apparently nothing. They're supposed to, get behind us with some advertising, promote the show a little bit. They kept talking about, like, Google ads and shit. But it was the same conversation every fucking week, and then nothing ever happened. Like, we were bringing in Jimmy Dore, Joe Walsh, these big fucking names, and we couldn't get a goddamn ounce of support from anybody there.
Yeah, they'll rue the day that they didn't sell your ads.
Yeah. Well, I certainly fucking hope so.
That would be a challenge to sell us. You know.
Well, the best thing about audio is we can't see your faces, so that makes it a little easier. Now, once you two branch into video, all bets are off.
Dude,
I have the Walmart crowd on lockdown. I already have my audience. I know exactly who I'm going after. Yeah, I'm not going to have to work that hard. They'll look at like, oh, hey, someone who looks like me. I'm going to check this out. I'll have the Florida crowd
Basically,
on
you
lockdown.
guys just need to figure out whoever was watching Honey Boo Boo for all those years and go out and get to them.
Yeah, the Walmart crowd. It all comes back to square one.
How many Walmarts per square mile are there in Florida, Blackburn?
Florida is just one big Walmart. Actually, at our border with Georgia, it's just a big Walmart sign, and there's a greeter there with a vest and a name tag on.
What's the so getting back? We talked about this on the last podcast with Blackburn. If you haven't heard it, go check that out. It's just called Brandon Blackburn. We're gonna call this one something else.
Clever.
Yeah, we'll spice it up.
Good wordsmithing.
But when you were a CIA officer, did they ever, I don't know, give you any inside information about, because we talked about the Osama bin Laden porn collection last time.
Right.
and then shortly after that, it was
which I think will
released.
be on display at the Smithsonian this year.
I think that, and maybe I'm crazy, but they only released because the CIA did release what was in Osama bin Laden's porn collection, or it got out, or whatever, after you were on our podcast talking about it. So I think they probably heard that and said, well, it's out there anyway. Why don't we just give the people what they want?
Yeah, no, that chip they implanted in my brain means they can hear every conversation I have in perpetuity. Perpetuity means forever, Collins.
Thank you, Merriam-Webster. I appreciate that.
What was a weird question they asked you when you were interviewing to be a CIA officer?
Okay, so this was fun. Okay, this was a great day for me when I was hooked up to the polygraph. My favorite question they asked was, have I ever told a lie before in my life?
And?
Well, I needed her to elaborate because, they were, I didn't know if that would have been a good thing because they were about to pay me to lie for a living, or if that was going to be a deal breaker. So I kind of felt her out, I said, well, I did tell my girlfriend once the jeans didn't make her butt look big when they actually did. And, I think that was about all that registered in the lie department at that time.
Really? I will give you that. You're a straight shooter, like, for better or worse. When we were having problems at the shit shack, I'd go complaining to you about it, and you would tell me exactly.
Yeah, look at all the good that did. Great strategy there.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So the lesson here, boys and girls, is never tell the truth.
What would you tell somebody, like a young man graduating from school or whatever, looking to get into, or woman, sorry, looking to get into the CIA? What is the best piece of advice you have?
It is nothing like the movies. So if you're going into it thinking it's even a shred resembles that in any way, you're going into it for the wrong reasons.
What's a department they could go into?
At where? At the CIA?
No, just in general, that's similar to the movies. If they're looking to get into something like the CIA, but they want it to be, a little more action-packed and glamorous and sexy, what's a profession they can get into?
Well, being your manager.
More action than the CIA. That's amazing.
It's like every time I break bottles at a club, they have to take it out of my pay. That's a real thing that happened.
Yeah, about every other time we go out. Oh, shit. So, what, is this a kindler, gentler CIA now? You guys, stop running drugs from South America and flooding the streets and of the U.S., or, I don't know, getting in the middle of,
that's old school. Now you have group therapy sessions with the terrorists.
God damn it. Even the fucking liberals have taken over the goddamn CIA, the last refuge of Americanism, and that's fucking gone now. God, reminds me a little bit here in California with the Democratic People's Republic of California and our illustrious...
God.
Shut up, Dave.
Here we go.
Well, because he's such a piece of shit and he gives us so much material every week, it's the continuing chronicles of Kim Jong-un and his dictatorial control over California. Have you heard the latest, Dave?
I don't know. What now? He didn't wear a mask when he sneezed?
No. Though we did just get 3.5 million vaccines to disperse around the state. And only about a quarter of them have actually been dispersed. So that's the first thing. Here in LA County, they're fucking throwing them out if people don't show up for their appointments. If healthcare workers don't show up, and LA County is going off the state standard for that. So we got vaccines, and people aren't getting them because either they're just sitting in the fridge or they're getting thrown the fuck out. Mr. Get your vaccines and wear your mask and don't put your balls on that guy's face. Wait, that last one may have been something different, but you know what I'm getting at.
Would you do that in the CIA, put balls on face to get people to talk? Blackburn, just as a side note.
That program is classified.
Oh.
God damn. I would like to apply, sir. Where do I sign up?
But I will say, you know what would be a good idea, especially out there, if they gave the vaccine to the DoorDash drivers, and then they could just hit two birds with one stone.
Fair enough. Yeah, that makes sense.
So you're concerned
or in Colin's case, an escort on Backpage.
Yeah.
Either one is coming to his door frequently.
Well, and I've had this itch on my ball for a couple weeks, and my left ball, and I'm not sure if this is normal, how long it's supposed to be before I should probably go to a doctor and get it checked out. But I think that'd be doubly bad for terrorists.
Did you say your left one, so your right one and your middle one are okay?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's only a third of them.
That's the thing with growing up in Iowa.
Well, that's all the chemicals they spray in the corn, It's sacrifices living in the country.
So what were you going off about?
Yeah, Kim Jong-un again. Oh, and here's the other hilarious thing. Obviously, there's been a lot of turmoil. We know it happened last week at the Capitol. So out here in California, there's finally enough steam going to try to get Newsom recalled. So people have been gathering signatures. It's 100% in the California Constitution in order to be able to do this. Get the signatures, you get enough, you can put it on the ballot, and people vote to remove them from office or not. 100% diplomatic. Everybody should be on board with that, except his cronies out here. Rusty Hicks, who's head of the Democratic Party here in California. That asshole, he just put out a statement with a couple other California Democrats comparing the recall effort to the attacks on the Capitol last week. And he's actually getting shit on, thankfully, by every for it, but it was just the fucking dumbest thing in the world for this idiot to do. But that kind of like goes into, what everyone was talking about, like speech inciting shit, except they're trying to actually stop a legitimately democratic process with their speech.
You done?
Yes.
Blackburn, what do you think of that?
I think Collins is like a poor man's Harvey Milk. That was inspiring.
He's one of them lunch pail Republicans.
I'm sorry, a poor straight man's Harvey Milk. Let me clarify.
Hey, can you say that again?
I said you are an inspiration to the poor working man everywhere. Which,
Yeah.
by the way, I don't know how much either of you make based on your appearance. I can, use my deductive reasoning. But let this marinate for a little bit. If you were living in Florida, you would probably be living like kings.
Probably. Yeah. Well,
Yeah, but Florida doesn't have that sweet sunshine.
And legally, you could marry your cousin. So it's a win-win.
Like which cousin though? Like first, second?
I think there's a gray area on that.
That's what I mean. Like in some states, I looked this up for some reason. Some states they don't have any laws on that, and others they.
Wait. You looked it up. Let's all put our air quotes for some reason.
Yeah, for some reason. There's no air quotes. For some reason. I
No,
don't know why I did it. I'm a curious cat, man. So for some reason,
What's her name?
me and my hot cousin were looking up the rules on that. And in some states, they don't have any rules. And in others, it's like your third cousin, you're good to go.
Mr. Blackburn.
Well, welcome to Florida. Come on down.
Man, I got cousins. The only family I have in the U.S. is from Oklahoma. So that's where it's like cool, right?
Yeah, you do really well in Oklahoma with all the cowboys and gunslingers.
Yeah, just go there talking about single payer healthcare, subsidized education. They're all about that, right?
Yeah, that's a winning platform there.
Those cowboys, they use blanks like they do in the movies, right?
It's all blanks and the beer bottles break easily.
Yeah, just as easily as they do here. So, how have people in Florida been reacting to the terrorist attack at the Capitol?
Peaceful protest, Dave.
What terrorist attack?
That's right.
Well, first off, let me tell you this, and this was my first reaction. The first picture I saw from that day was of the guy with the ballistic helmet and the zip ties on, and all I could think of was, there goes Dave trolling for dates again.
What? So now I'm that guy? Come on.
I saw the zip ties, and I knew that was
Brandon Collins.
I knew that was a key tool in your dating box. So,
yeah, no, sir. I pay for hookers. I don't zip tie them. That's where you save money. You're smarter than me in that regard, but
Jesus.
All right. So which one am I?
Oh, I think you're podium guy. We all know that.
Who also happen to be from Florida. Everything comes full circle.
That's right. Doing our state proud.
It's not like Nancy Pelosi needs that podium. We all know the bullshit that's going to come out of her mouth. She doesn't need to say it. What? Dave's groaning over here. So, but like what? So what would you make of it, though? I mean, like your assessment, just breaking down everything that happened that day from the speech, the people gathering, everything up to the Capitol. Like, what do you make of all of it? What's your take on it?
Well, look, it's a bad day. There's no coming back from it. Anybody who was involved, all the way up to the president, right? That's the line you don't cross for multiple reasons. One of the things I think people need to really have a conversation about is what is it a byproduct of? What led to that day? And I don't think that's taking place in any meaningful way. The other thing that's a little disconcerting too, having been in the intelligence field, is you're starting to get censorship of a lot of these people on social media. That doesn't mean they're going to stop scheming and stop planning and sharing their thoughts and recruiting. They're just going to go underground to do it. So you lose a lot of insight into what their intentions are moving forward.
Yeah, I feel you. But what about? Can we agree that the people that went into the building are terrorists?
Absolutely, that was an act of domestic violence for political reason, all of which checks the box on the definition of terrorism, of domestic terrorism.
Now, before any right-wingers start screeching about Antifa, can you explain, in your words, as a former member of the CIA, how that is different from, say, a Black Lives Matter protest? Because they're trying to parallel that. They can't acknowledge what happened without saying Antifa or Black Lives Matter. But what about? How? To me, it's obvious. But can you explain to the dumbasses how this is different than the Black Lives Matter or the just general protesting?
Well, there were a lot of people there that were protesting that weren't involved in that riot, right? Yeah. So let's be honest about that. Would you agree with me on that, David?
Of course.
Okay. So listen, when you get down to it, if you look at the psychological makeup and actually study the brains and how they're wired, there are people who are susceptible to believing outrageous claims and conspiracy theories across the political spectrum. So the question is there ever a reason, is there a moral justification for any type of violence? And that's something that we as a society need to have a pretty serious conversation about. My opinion is either all of it's acceptable or none of it is. And we have to make that distinction pretty clear.
Okay, it sounds like you're talking about two different things. So when it comes to free speech or jokes is a good example. It all comes back to comedy, not professional wrestling like you two dockers think. But
no, politics is. Are you kidding me? Politics parallels professional wrestling in so many ways.
No, because Shitty Brandon, specifically Shitty Brandon Jr., thinks that everything in life goes back to pro wrestling. And you know what? You guys could talk about that in a minute.
Okay, listen. I'm the guest, so let me take my moment here, okay? You're paying me nothing to do this, so you can at least give me that. Professional wrestling, to be a great babyface, right? To be the man, to be the hero, you have to have an equally compelling evil, what they call heel, which is a bad guy. That's politics, right?
Yeah.
You can't be a hero in politics unless you brand something evil that you're fighting against.
Fair enough. So, if anything, professional wrestling is more like politics than politics is like professional wrestling, because they've been doing that long before men have stripped down to their underwear and oiled themselves up and rubbed their bodies
At least
together.
professional wrestling makes more sense.
Than politics?
Yeah, I would argue
100%.
that. Collins?
Yeah, absolutely. So, like right now, you have Nancy Pelosi and the Democrats. They're making themselves out to be the hero. The Republicans, they're all the heels, the shitty people right now. Much in the way that Trump tried doing that with the Democrats when he was president. Hey, I'm trying to get all this great stuff done for the American people, but the Democrats, they just, everyone wants to believe they're the good guy while making out the other person to be their heel, their antagonist.
But it's very clear that Joe Biden is Hulk Hogan, and Donald Trump is Donald Trump.
Joe Biden is Hulk Hogan in the way that he puts out this family-friendly image, but behind the scenes, everyone will tell you he's a backstabbing piece of shit. So, yes, he is just like Hulk Hogan, waving the flag around, but screwing over guys so he can keep his spot at the top, keep his paycheck coming in.
Hulk Hogan
And Trump is a WWE Hall of Famer, so
yeah, he's the only man to be in the WWE Hall of Fame and receive a Stone Cold Stunner. It's quite a resume.
No, that's not right. You totally botched that.
What?
He's the only man to be in the White House and receive a Stone Cold Stunner.
Yeah, fair enough.
What's a Stone Cold? That sounds like a sex thing Brandon Collins pays for.
I'll show you later, Bottom Dave.
Stop calling me that, because then everybody starts calling me that, and then they start pointing out how I'm not mad. I'm not mad, but I got to point out that that's not true. And even if it were true, why am I the bottom? Blackburn, settle this. Agree with me on this. If me and Brandon
I think
Collins,
it's a matter of weight. I think it's just a matter of proportions.
Yeah, I don't need no zip ties to get some action out of you, buddy.
oh my God, that sounds just
I
fucking
mean,
repulsive and terrifying.
You don't really have a choice once that behemoth of a man Collins gets on top of you.
That's right, buddy. You're the U.S. Capitol building, and I'm Buffalo Man.
Ah,
And I'm a stampeding riding Dave.
gross. Speaking of the cat, let's go back to that for a second. So we had asked Blackburn. We just fixed our audio on our end, and it's significantly better.
3/4 of the way into the show. Good
There was-
engineering, guys.
There was a delay. We didn't
The
anticipate
crack
this.
squad you have working on things out there.
Well, thanks a lot for helping us out, fake news, Blackburn. I don't know why I called you that. Sorry. Fucking fake news. But we're Brandon and I are in the same room. We're on a three-way call. We're having a threesome, and whenever Brandon talks, I hear a delay in the phone, and it's fucking up my shit. And then I texted him, "Can you mute me?" And he did, and it's just glorious now. Now I can hear both of you at the same time. It's great. So we'll include you a little bit more in the conversation now, Blackburn. So going back to how Florida people perceive it, we were discussing how the protesters, the people standing outside the building, are exactly that, protesters. And the people that went inside to disrupt them counting the electorals to certify the election for Biden are fucking terrorists. And there's no other way to put that. I'm getting messages, hey, stop saying terrorists because words matter. I'm like, well, if words matter, then why were they there in the first place? Didn't old man Trump say something about that? So my question to you, Blackburn, is how do people in Florida, at least in Orlando or wherever the fuck, perceive this whole thing?
Well, I've done extensive focus groups on the topic.
Well, aren't you guys out there coughing on each other, not wearing masks, discussing this?
It's a beautiful thing when the heat kills COVID.
Have you?
Well-
Very well. Very well.
Okay, well, let me ask you this. So
you don't know is the answer.
All right, so go ahead, Blackburn.
I don't know, but I don't know anybody that is and that I've talked to is justifying it in any way, which is good. I wouldn't want to know anybody who would try to.
Right, and that's one thing that we can all universally agree on. Everyone who went into the Capitol, they're guilty of. Well, that's the thing. So all these words have been thrown out that 99% of people have never used: sedition, insurrection, putsch, things like that.
Yes,
and I would apply those to the people who actually went into the Capitol. But what is the actual definition like of an insurrection? Did that look like an insurrection to you?
Well, I think that a component that was missing. I don't think there was much, as far as we know so far, much of a plan beyond what they did.
Right, and that's my understanding, is that there would have to be a leader. It would be organized. They would all go in they would all have exact goals. And they just got in there, and then like Buffalo Man went and fucking fucked off. Some dude sat on Pelosi's desk. The guy ran out with his lectern. The fucking guy tried to steal Tip O'Neill's painting, fell on his taser, tased his balls.
That didn't actually happen, but that is hilarious that rumor got out there. Anyways, I'm farting on you because I call bullshit on that. The alleged guy who tased his balls, whoever started that, hilarious. It's wrong to speak of a dead terrorist that way, but they absolutely did have that plan. They've been saying this for years. We're going to take the country back by any means necessary. I'm going to grab my rifle. Even Joe Walsh that was on the podcast, he would say shit like, if they try and take my guns, I'm going to grab my musket and ... do what I got to do.
Is that the guy from America's Most Wanted?
No, that's Joe. It's Joe Walsh I'm talking about. Did I say John Walsh?
No.
Oh, no, I just misheard you. It's that Canadian accent.
Right, but so...
Oh, whatever, pal. But what I'm saying is they've been saying this for a long time, including that guy who allegedly tased his balls. He was posting on Parler that he's got bullets for Nancy Pelosi, or whatever. I'm paraphrasing, but he was saying he's going to do exactly what he did.
Right,
and threatening violence.
Yeah, individuals, but as far as an organized effort, there was nobody in command there. There was nobody handing out orders.
Yeah.
You guys go here, you do this. You guys go there, you take hostages. You guys, you go kill some people. Like, there was none of that. It was just a few hundred of the thousands of people that were there that rushed the Capitol, and they all just went off in their little direction. They were like kids on the playground. There was no organization. Like, yes, there were individuals that had bad intentions, but definitely...
They literally slaughtered their way into the Capitol. Like, there's a dead police officer, which to me proves that this whole Blue Lives Matter argument isn't about supporting police officers. Because believe it or not, I do. I'm the son of a cop. Mind you, a Canadian cop. He's never pointed his gun at somebody. But son of a cop, I understand that
their guns their guns have Nerf bullets in them, so
yeah, exactly.
I don't think that's really an equivalent.
Yeah. It's more of a deterrent than anything. You see the gun, and it's like, oh, he might remember how to shoot it from 20 years ago. But I support police officers. The 99% of them that are good people. There's a huge issue with accountability, of course, but stepping outside of that, these people have nothing to do with the Blue Lives Matter because they're just trying to counter Black Lives Matter. They're trying to go against Black Lives Matter, and they're saying that the people that are looting and whatever, smashing up a Target and setting cars on fire, that's what Black Lives Matter is. And then when this shit happens, like, it's not like you hear the left saying, oh, okay, so storming the Capitol and killing cops and whatever. That's what the GOP is as a whole. The whole thing. The Republican Party is exactly the actions of those few people. No, we're acknowledging, or at least I am, and for the most part, saying that those individuals are terrorists and the other ones are just protesters that we 100% disagree with. So that's the point I'm trying to make, is that it's not about Blue Lives Matter. They proved it by murdering that cop, and then here we are, a week and a half later, or a week later? No one says shit about that. They don't even fucking care about that dude.
Yeah, and I'm not even arguing that. I'm just saying there were individuals that had bad intentions, but that group as a whole, it wasn't an organized group. They all had their own agendas when they went in there. They went about their business the way they wanted to. There was no one leading them. They're terrorists. I'm not arguing that. I'm not saying they're Blue Lives Matter. I'm not sticking up for any of them. But, I mean, is that a fair assessment on my end, Blackburn, or what? How would you see it?
Yeah, I think we have to separate the two, especially when you consider, people's right to protest. There were people there that legitimately, that's what their intent was and believe that's what they were doing, just like we've seen all summer for other causes. Now, we can debate all night. I mean, I'm not going to stay here much longer because I have much better things to do than talk to you two. But anybody could sit around and debate all night about, which cause is more legitimate and what have you. But at the end of the day, you have to separate those who took the steps toward violence and those who were there to exercise their right of free speech and protest, right to assemble.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, and now
it's a little thing called the Constitution, Dave. Okay.
Yeah, the thing Biden steps on all the time on his way to the White House.
We'll fax you one to Canada.
We have a constitution in Canada, but it's about hockey and maple syrup and, one moose for every man. But you know what? You guys don't get it. Don't worry about it. We're just up there doing cool shit.
All right, the big one, though. Do you believe that Trump is guilty of inciting the mob that did go into the Capitol?
Yes, thank you for asking me.
Well, we already know how Comedy Dave feels. What would you say, Blackburn, as far as that goes? Did he incite the mob or say enough or do enough to be guilty of it?
Well, I think what I look at for that is if he had not said anything, would those people have acted any different? And I think the answer is no. So, we can go back and forth on that. He clearly it ruined any chance of him ever reemerging in the political landscape. We know that for sure.
Well, not if they convict him after impeachment. He can't. But you say that, but let's look at it this way. He also told them to be there on that day, and he said things like, we have to do what we got to do by any means necessary. We have to, or we're going to lose our country. The election was stolen. He keeps repeating that over and over again. They stole it from us. We have to show up there and fight like hell. That's what he said. Fight like hell. And I can say that on one hand, he's already being hyperbolic, but at the same time, he's lying about the election being stolen. Because where's the fucking proof? And there is nothing worse than asking someone that believes it to show you proof of that. They simply can't because it doesn't exist.
Even I get attacked by people on the right for saying that. Like, I'm a piece of shit to people for way further right than I am. So I'm in the same boat as Dave in that regard.
Well, be careful, fellas. If both of you are in it, that boat might start sinking.
Well, capsize on Brandon's head first. Because like you said, he overpowers me. Well, I mean, he's heavier than me.
Well, Dave floats my boat and...
It's always with the gay references. Everyone thinks we're gay, which is fine, even though we're not. But the only reason they think that is because you keep saying we are. Why do you do that?
Because it's funny. Watching you have an aneurysm just about every time. All right, so now with the narrative in this, with the media, does it seem like the media is really fanning that flame, though, of Trump's absolutely guilty? Because when I read the news or watch reports, it's almost like they're reporting on it as if he's already been convicted of it and he's guilty of the crime. Is anyone else seeing that, or is it just me?
No, absolutely. And I think I don't know anybody that knows anything about QAnon or knew who they were until they read some media report about them. So absolutely the media has a role in it.
Okay, and then moving to social media, where you always get that, the left and the right, everyone in their ideological bubbles. we talked about this last week, but what are your feelings on everything that happened with that? With Trump being kicked off, with Parler being pulled off of Google, Apple, their servers being pulled from Amazon or whatever it was. What are your take on all that?
Well, I think it's a legitimate argument to say that those are private companies and they have the right to do as they wish. That's absolutely true. However, we have become so reliant on these 3 or 4 big tech companies that we really need to take a step back and give some thought to what that means for our country. And anybody who's cheering the censorship of anyone with whom they disagree needs a history lesson, not just from our country, but from others. It's a very dangerous precedent. And at some point, it affects everybody.
Yeah, and one of the more extreme examples I saw was this video from Arnold Schwarzenegger. Did you see that? The 7.5-minute video? And right at the beginning of the video, he compared what happened at the Capitol to Kristallnacht.
Right. And talk about hyperbole, right?
Jesus Christ. That was my first thought. I'm like, you want to talk about an organized effort where there was a military hierarchy and people given marching orders to commit acts of violence. That was it. That was definitely not the Capitol.
Okay, but I'm sorry. Hold up. With the social media censorship thing, these are private companies, and I understand that they're so huge that we need to reevaluate. But at the end of the day, that's exactly what it is. It's a private fucking company, and they have terms of service that you agree to when you sign up, and when you violate that, they will delete your account. It's a big joke right now going on social media right now within our world where
Sure.
A while back there was that dude who wore we talked about it on the last episode. It was the Valley Boys, whatever, most voted moment where it didn't even happen on the podcast, but that dude who wore a Klan hood to a grocery store, I told everybody that was Brandon, and it was retweeted thousands of times, and I was like, let's get him. My account was, I went to open up Twitter, and it said, okay, re-enter your password. All right, your account is locked, and you have to delete that tweet. Or you can just not have a Twitter account. Now, is that censorship? Or are they holding me accountable for spreading lies about shitty fucking Bradolph?
Well, I think the narrative is about our society's lack of, our inability to self-police, and our lack of, clearly we don't have a strong emphasis on critical thinking. Nobody would listen to this show if we did. And we have to get back to those, fundamental individualized traits.
I agree, but for the meantime, you got to play it to the lowest common denominator, which is when they hear Trump say, the election's been stolen. They stole the election from us. This is the end of our country. And then they fucking kill people at the They literally slaughter their way in and commit acts of terrorism. So they shut the fucker down. I don't see the problem in that. I don't see that as even censorship. I see that as dealing with a cancerous little maggot that you flush down the toilet. He's inciting violence, and he knows it. And I understand
I think any instances of incitement of violence, absolutely. But there's a precipice we have to be aware of where what's that line, and who's starting to determine what that language is beyond direct incidents of that incitement.
I understand that because he didn't directly say go in and kill people. However, that's still the result of his words and actions. So, but again, it comes back to the free market. The government does not control private enterprise. If you think that the government should step in, or that Twitter is somehow violating constitutional rights, then you're also saying that the government gets to dictate everything that happens within private companies, in which case you may as well move to Venezuela or some socialist. No, that's communist. You may as well move to a communist country because that's what you're advocating for.
No,
And
I agree with that. And like I said, I look at it more from the intelligence officer, former inside me is, now the insight into what a lot of these people were discussing publicly is turned off with the flip of a switch. But they're not going to stop those conversations. They're not going to stop their scheming. They're not going to stop their planning. So that makes that aspect of it much more difficult. And I think that's lost on a lot of people right now.
I don't disagree with that, but at the
Well,
same
you can't
time,
because it's right.
Oh, here we go.
Checkmate, Dave.
Look at it this way. If the government were to set up a social media platform, but the U.S. government, and the rules were you could say anything you want, then go for it. That already exists. There are platforms like that. Parler. Go there and say the N-word all you want. You'll be celebrated for it. And that other one, what's it? The frog guy. Gab. I mean, that's not an ad for them. I'm just saying that there are places for
Unless
you to go.
they want to be a paid sponsor, let's be honest, you could use it.
No, we got people buying us beers. We got people online that buy me a coffee shit, where all those people are throwing us $5. Pretty sad.
Yeah, and we
Resort to
already
cyber
figured out.
panhandling.
We already figured out last week that Dave is slowly starting to come over to the Republican side. Anyhow,
I am not.
Slowly but
Why?
surely.
No.
Yes.
No. I am Democrat. Like Joe Biden has multiple paths I was already approved for a green card. I'm waiting for my interview. I was supposed to have it in April, and Trump himself, not the Republican, not the administrator, Trump himself shut down the immigration processing office. And they said, we can do this from home. We don't need, and he's like, no, shut it down, because that's part of his anti-immigration agenda. And it doesn't matter, like, I get it. A lot of people look at me and they say, well, you're not an immigrant. You're not really. Yeah, I am. And that's extremely racist.
And you wonder why they wanted to shut down immigration.
I mean, I get it from Canadians, especially Winnipeg, Dave. Because to get into Canada, all you need to do is have someone vouch for you. Be like, oh, Winnipeg Dave, he says I'm cool. And they're like, Winnipeg Dave, he's got 3 strikes, though.
Yeah, and Dave's super hopeful, but I would put out to him that on January 21st, we're essentially going to be getting the 3rd term of George W. Bush, just with gay marriage and BLM.
I don't disagree with that, but going back to what I was saying, the immigration office is, I have multiple pathways into that. I was already approved for one. I just have to wait for my interview, which could happen at any time once it's opened up again. Or maybe it is. I don't know, but they haven't contacted me. But beyond that, Biden's offering pathways to citizenship. Like he's with DACA, like the illegal immigrants, which is great, which I'm sure will extend to legal immigrants like myself. And basically what I'm really hoping for is that he's a panderer, that's the one thing he's been consistent with. I'm not saying he's gonna do things out of the kindness of his heart. He's a panderer. And that was the whole thing with the war on drugs. Kamala Harris with her shit about the private prisons and not letting people out when they've been fucking exonerated at the federal level. That's some weird shit. Blackburn, you know about that?
Wait, are you saying you're still in this country?
I'm in Brandon's garage right now.
They
Yeah, there's a
haven't
black
sent you
widow
back
and a
yet?
cricket. Sorry, what?
The Black Widow, they got to come up with more creative names for hookers these days. That's kind of depressing.
It's a good thing that's at the end of the podcast when no one's going to hear it.
Yeah. As Bob Euchre said, nobody's listening anyway.
The hell with it.
Anyways, that's my point. Is
No,
that they're
guys,
panderers. And this is
really,
what people want.
Well, yeah, that's what a politician, pander, it's all synonymous.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and with Joe Biden, panderer is short for pedophile and philanderer.
Oh my God! Enough of this pedophile shit and rapist shit. He sniffs hair. It's weird. It's creepy grandpa shit. But it's not. It's like all these people that are saying Joe Biden's a pedophile. Joe Biden's a retweet if you think Joe Biden's a pedophile. It's like, what about Trump, who has been accused in court of pedophilia. Like there's dozens of women saying that he sexually violated them. What about any of that? And they keep quiet. Oh, they're lying. Those women are lying.
Okay, I can
Listen,
understand
it'll
that.
all come out once Jizz down the lane gets her testimony in court. The Maxwell chick.
Oh, Ghislaine Maxwell, yeah.
Ghislaine, yeah.
Yeah, what did Trump say when she went down? He wishes her well.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, because
Dog
he knows
whistle.
that she's going to expose
Dog
Democratic
whistle.
pedophile ring.
You know what? He's still got another week to pardon her. It very well could happen. And it's not Democratic pedophile ring. This whole thing that like one side or the other are pedophiles. There's pedophiles at all ends of power.
It's kind of a prerequisite to be a politician in the federal government these days.
Elaborate.
You have to have harassed somebody. It's so commonplace.
Oh, fuck, I better run for office.
You are. Shit, should we announce this now?
Yeah,
hey,
let's do it.
California can't do much worse.
No, dude.
Exactly, and that'll be the campaign slogan.
We've got an announcement to make.
At least I'm not Newsom. That's the bumper sticker.
Yeah.
Brandon, what's going down next year in 2021 for you? What's on your plate?
So me and Dave had
No,
decided
no. This is all you, buddy.
that it would be in the best interest of the United States of America, and specifically California House District 30, U.S. House District 30, for me to run as a Republican so that I can take back this part of Los Angeles for the Angelinos that need a hero and the America that we deserve.
Brandon's running for Congress next year.
Harvey Milk.
That's right. And I'm already gay because of Power Bottom Dave over there, so...
This is gay shit. Like, why do you gotta say that? That makes it sound like it's a bad thing. I'm not opposed to it. It's just that's not me. That's not
No,
you.
no. It's great. People love that at the polls in 2021.
You know what? If Anthony Rogers got on the bill with the crazy shit he was saying,
Yeah.
you know, you can too. So that's Brandon's plan. Blackburn. What do you think of that?
I think nothing would surprise me. I think instead of having people buy you a cup of coffee, have them sign the petition or whatever is needed to get you on the ballot.
Fuck yeah, man.
Oh no, it's gonna happen. There's enough people online that would be like, this will be really funny.
Absolutely.
You know, and I'm not saying I endorse Brandon. I do think it would be hilarious. I don't know. Whatever. He's not gonna win, so let him run.
Yeah, I need the help of Mike Davy Bear.
I'm not fucking. Stop saying that weird shit. Damn it, Brandon.
Well, hey, at least I don't have 33,000 emails lingering about, so you don't have to worry about that.
The emails. After all this shit, the emails.
Benghazi!
Okay. All right, you guys want to talk about wrestling or some shit?
I just want to tell you guys, I once had to get a partial root canal in a third world country without any Novocaine, and this has been slightly more enjoyable than that.
That way you heard it here first. More enjoyable. Valley Boys
Slightly.
Podcast. Better than a
Slightly.
root canal.
I like how we only got the audio to work towards the end of it. When we already
That's on
talked about all the
brand.
good shit. Whatever.
Yeah.
But it would be great if this'll encourage people to listen all the way to the end. You know, it goes down. You can see the stats of when people listen, and it's just like, I mean, it's like that with all podcasts, I'm sure, but ours in
It's
particular.
not.
It's just
No.
really people listen all the way to the end.
Yeah.
Ours
If they
has
like the show,
maybe like
if it's a good show.
50% listen to the end.
It's a pretty good number, really. This presidential approval rating numbers.
I don't think so. Oh, not your president, not the current president.
No, because he's 100% like Dave.
Fuck, I'm a little drunk.
And he's about to get more so. All right, well, real quick, Mr. Blackburn, last thing I want to hit you with. Are you going to be attending WrestleMania 37 this year?
Yeah, where's it taking place? Is it Tampa?
Yeah, Raymond James Stadium, dude. And Rick Scott or whoever, DeSantis.
When is it?
It's going to be into March, early April. Date isn't 100%.
It's always
set,
the same weekend, Dave. Don't act like you don't know.
I don't fucking know, dude. I don't follow wrestling.
Yeah. We should totally try to get tickets.
Brandon, if you start driving whatever jalopy you own these days now, you'll be here by end of March.
Oh, well, shit. I better get on the road as soon as we wrap this up.
You'll be in Tampa, that is.
Yes.
It's a fucking dog barking. I hope it's...
I think we need to get Dave to the WrestleMania weekend and do a live show on location.
Absolutely, dude.
Put me in a club out there that weekend, and we could definitely do that.
Okay, we'll get some material that people actually want to pay to see, and we can do that.
I do pretty well in Florida. I've been there a few times. It's good. Like, it's in Tampa, though. That place is kind of shitty.
That's because they're drunk and have heat stroke, so anything's funny under those conditions.
It doesn't help that I call Tampa shitty. You know what? I don't have a problem with, like, the cities in Florida, except Jacksonville and Tallahassee. Jacksonville is the third worst city in America.
That's racist, Dave.
No, it's just shitty.
Yeah, liberal Dave, look at you shitting all over Jacksonville. What the fuck, man?
It's a shitty town. It's a shitty city.
And you just
hot,
keep
muggy,
burying yourself.
And the people there are shit.
Dave's going to be running...
I'm pouring another whiskey. Fuck you guys.
Guess I'll scratch off Bonkers and downtown Jacksonville off the list.
Got fucking settle down with that pour over there, Matt Gaetz. Jesus.
Yeah, that guy's a ghoul. That guy's ghoulish, man. Always drinking. Driving his car. Great hair, though, like you said last time. That was weird.
Okay, and last question for you. Are we finally getting our fucking UFOs this year?
Yeah, I think that's going to be one of the I hope that's one of the last things Trump does when he leaves office is just declassify the entire program. Let it all out there, man.
Didn't he already kind of do that?
Well,
I think there is there was something in the last defense spending bill, which, you know, has nothing to do with defense spending, but you got to love Congress. They pork barrel that shit in. That had, I think there is a language in there that provides for or legislates that the DoD has to declassify certain information on that program.
Fuck yeah,
and then
man.
we can finally reconnect with Brandon's parents.
Yeah, dude.
No, that just makes him sound like Superman. His parents are cool as shit. He sucks.
I mean,
Brother Harry's cool. Brother Cindy, his mom.
Jarrell Collins.
Yes.
Brother Rachel, she's cool.
It wasn't Kansas. It was Iowa. Close enough. I am the hero this country needs. Brandon for California 30, U.S. Senate.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, you gotta. I'm not part of this. If I get a green card, I'm running alongside you. And I certainly will by then.
Oh, that's fantastic. You'll take away Democratic votes.
You know what? That's what I'm saying. I really shouldn't, because whatever votes I get would take away from actual people that are taking it serious. Not that I wouldn't, but
no, dude.
No, I'm gonna be mayor. I'm gonna be LA mayor one day when I'm like 60.
No, we will do the Valley Boys from the floor of Congress.
No, dude, no. I am not going to be a congressman. I am not even going to run for it. I'm not going to abuse whatever the fuck. I don't even know. People in California like me just fine, but I don't think there's enough to overtake somebody, because especially coming in with Canadian beliefs, you know?
Yeah.
It is pretty similar, but no, I'm not going to do that. I'll just let you do it as a Republican. Maybe I should run as a Republican too then, and just, you know, change the party back for the good.
Yeah, well, you are a shitty Democrat, like being racist about Jacksonville and drinking like Matt Gaetz.
Okay, well, Jacksonville fucking sucks. I will die on that hill. That is the third worst city in America, behind Albuquerque and Joshua Tree. It is the shittiest place. But you know what's really funny? What's ironic is my grandpa's grandpa was American, and he was the leader of the Republican Party. And at one point, he was the American ambassador to France.
Nobody likes France, so.
Je suis au rouge cheval dans mes toits.
Yeah, look what they did to fucking Montreal, dude.
Yeah, I know. The French
Quebec.
fucking suck. The French fucking suck. I'll say that's prejudice to me. I don't care. Fuck them. Fuck the French. I am so drunk, dude. We gotta end this shit.
Yeah, that's perfect place
Blackburn.
to end it.
Blackburn, where can we find you online, buddy?
I'm on Twitter. You guys follow me, so just retweet about me or whatever.
Yeah,
it is
we
you
do, but the listeners, what's your shit? What are you called on there?
I think it's brand Blackburn. That works. And I got a little Instagram going once in a while, so check me out. Hopefully you'll see some stuff on Dave appearing nationwide here soon.
You'll probably get some shit from some comedians saying, "Hey, can you represent me too?" But you're so busy with all the gigs that I'm getting right now.
Yeah, I need to find you an opening act.
No, dude. I'm down to go to Florida, Tampa, Florida. Call your congressman. I mean your comedy club and tell them to book Dave Weasel. And your congressman. Make it a law.
Jesus Christ,
If
Blackburn,
that will happen anywhere, it's Florida.
you should see this saucy ape over here. He's
I am
just
pretty
getting
saucy.
sauced to the
I was
tits.
drinking whiskey the whole time, right out of the glass like a fucking piece of shit. I don't care. And I can finally hear everybody. That's a good thing. Before it was just a jumbled mess. I was like flipping out with.
No, that reverberation's still there. You're just drunk enough that shit sounds normal now.
Oh, because I'm shaking so much. Whatever, man. End this shit. Brandon, close it out.
All right, Mr. Blackburn, thanks for joining us. Thanks for setting everybody straight on everything going on in this country.
Can't set us straight.
Well,
Not
neither
with the
is
rumors
Dave.
you spread.
All right, and good night to all you fuckers. Thanks for listening.
Make sure you follow us online. We are the Valley Boys Podcast. Whether it's Valley Boys Pod, Valley Boys Podcast, I don't know. I don't give a fuck. We're the little purple and pink guys. Just follow us on there. Follow Brandon Blackburn. He's Blackburn Brand or Brand Blackburn. He doesn't even know. Brandon Blackburn. Follow him too. From Reseda, California. Good night.
What a quality show this is.
Fuck, that was one of the worst ones we've ever done. Sorry, Brandon. Thank you.